Okay, good. So, Alex, um, here's the first thing we're going to be doing. We're going to go step by step. And remember, I'm going to be clipping this for you to be able to come back to it later. Are we together? We're going to clip it up for you and make sure you are able to come back and check video piece by piece. The first part of which is a video you're going to be able to watch again, is I'm going to show you um, rules that I need you to stick to. Okay? And I'm going to show you how you are going to solve a triangle question. Then we do several questions together to make you master the rule. Are we together? Right. So when you do triangles, listen closely. A triangle is a very easy shape. It is a shape that has three sides. The word tri means three. So when we say you are doing a triangle in maths, you are doing a shape with three sides. And let me tell you something. It is going to come in every single paper. Are we together? Every single paper, and they're going to change. They're going to change um, a few things. They're going to change values. They're going to change shapes. They'll stick it with other things to try and confuse you. But when you see a triangle, anything with three sides, I want you to be able to answer the question. Are we together? So here, this is everything you need to know. Everything you need to know is that I'm going to start backwards to front because I've done it before. There are three sections, okay? There are three sections. If uh, there are three sections of maths. Yes, can you hear me? There are three sections of maths that involve triangles. Okay? Triangles have three sections. Are we together? When you want to know how to solve triangles, there are three sections of maths to know. The first one, or the third one, we start with the third one. Listen closely. Listen to this. This is how you find a missing side. What, Alex? Yes, this is easy. A missing side, honestly. Finding a missing side or angle, and you'll be given a non right angled triangle. So, on a non right angled triangle, can you write this, please? Alex, do you know a right angle? Yes. A right angle is that 90-degree side. Well done. So here you are not going to have it, okay? They are not going to give you. But it will be still a triangle, okay? It will be still a triangle. There are three sides, but it will not have a right angle. So highlight this: non right angled. There is no right angle. So you have a situation here, sir. There is no right angle. Are we together? And you are supposed to find a missing side. Here's what you do. Don't let me down, please. As long as you have a triangle and it has no right angle, students, mister, and they want you to find a side or an angle, there are only two possible methods. Are you listening? There are only two possible methods to use. One is called cosine rule. Okay? When do we use it? When we are looking for a missing side. Yes. Well done. When you have a non right angled triangle and you want a missing side or missing angle, right? Yes, there are only two possible. So either we're going to use the cosine rule, and you're going to do this practically just now. So we're going to do it practically. We are going to solve questions. So let me fix something. Is a drag. The two possible methods would be cosine rule or sine rule. Cosine rule or sine rule. So let's get to work here. I'm going to show you how to do them using questions. But first, before I go to the questions, I just want to show you what you look at, okay? Then I'll show you how to use them using questions. Are we together? Right. There are only two possible methods. One is called cosine rule, two is called sine rule. So I don't want to make this complicated. Put this in your head. Triangles are the easiest shapes, and yet they have so many marks. They always come. They are coming. 100% we are sure that they are coming in the exam. Now, if they give us a triangle with no right angle, we are going to write the two methods that work: cosine rule or sine rule. Are we together? Now, cosine rule, write for me this. This method is used when write this, then I'll go to questions. You're going to see with questions. When A, yes, is used when when A, you are given all three sides. So basically, you are going to look at what you are given. If you are given all three sides, you must use the cosine rule. Or B, you are given an included angle. Write it in caps to say an included angle. So if you are given all three sides of a triangle with no right angle, or if you are given all three sides, you use the cosine rule. Now write for me like this to say, otherwise, or say, put an arrow also, say, use the sine rule, for any other situation. Use the sine rule for any other situation. You use the sine rule for any other situation. Are you ready for questions? Mm-hmm. Yeah, for any other situation. Can you be fast, please? So you write, move, Alex. So you write cosine rule now. Here is what it says. I'm going to show you what it says. Because you now know when to use it. I'm going to, don't worry. I know you don't understand yet. You understand these statements when we do questions. So what you must have is these statements. You will understand these statements when we do questions, right? All right. So cosine rule, here is how it works. You have a triangle with no right angle like this. Okay. Let's make it as crazy as we can. straight out, then yet it's maybe like this or like this, then it comes together. So there is no right angle, right? There is no right angle here. All right. So your cosine rule here is what it says. You'll be having a side, another side. So we use capital letters for corners. Okay. We use capital letters for corners like A, then B, then C. Then we use small letters for the sides. So in other words, opposite big A, you have side small a. This is easy. Opposite big B, you have side small b. Opposite big C, yes. Then opposite C, yes, small c. So we have sides, we have angles. This is going to help us to now use the cosine rule. Because the cosine rule will now come and say, here is how you do it. And I'm going to show you what we mean by an included angle. So let's say that you are given this angle theta. Can you see it? So let's say you are in an exam, then they tell you this angle is 30 degrees. If they tell you the angle is 30 degrees, you are going to test and see if it's an included angle. An included angle, Mr. Alex, is an angle where you know the two sides that make it. Okay? That's a simple definition. If you know the two sides that make the angle, then that angle in maths is called an included angle. So if I have a triangle which has no right angle like this, and I'm told that this is whatever degrees, let's just say 102 degrees, and I'm told that this is 3, and I'm told that this is 5. So when I get this angle, I can see that it is on a triangle with no right angle. So if it's on a triangle with no right angle, you have to test it to see if it's an included angle. Well, it is in this situation because you know 3 and you know 5. So you know the two sides that make the angle. Okay? This side is 3, this other side is 5. So it is an included. Can you see that? It's an included. Why is it included? Because you know the two sides that make it. Do you get it? So if you know the two sides that make it, then it's included. Are we together? Mhm. So now, this included angle, what you're going to do, um, what you're going to do with it is you are going to use the cosine rule. Here's what it says, Alex. Can you write it quickly? It says if you want to get b, you write it this way: b squared, which is this one, okay, is going to be this side. If you want to get this side, it will be equal to the other two sides. What are the other two sides? Tell me quickly. We have we have A and C. Yes. So we have taken B. So we now are left with A and C. So you say B squared is equal to A squared plus C squared. The other two sides. Okay. B squared is equal to, make sure you put the squared. So it's like Pythagoras almost. But then you now say minus afterwards. You will now say minus. Then you say 2. Okay. You now say minus 2. Then you bring back this side, A. You bring back this other side, C. Then you write cos big B. So this is where you're going to need to practice. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, right? So that you practice how to write the cosine rule, and we're going to solve questions by writing it. What do we want? We want B. All right. Give me a second. We want b, right? B squared. So here's you do it again. You write it to say b squared. Don't forget, b squared is equal to the other two sides, a squared plus c squared, right? Then you say the other two. Don't forget, you want b, so you take the other two and make everything b squared. Come on, you can write this. Then now you say minus. Don't forget the minus. And when you say minus, don't forget the two. Yes, yes, cos big B now. Because you want small b, you do now cos of big B. This is why it's called cosine rule, because it has cos. Are we together? So now this is the cosine. Exactly. So you're going to need to write it many, many times. Now, one last one. And I'll show you when we are going to use it, because we have written it down. We have written down when we are going to use it, and we have written down how we are going to use it. What we need is practice, so that we get it. We get everything. Okay. What we need is practice. So when do we use it? When we are given all three sides, or when we are given an included angle. Are we together? Okay. Uh, give me a second. Right. Alex, can you see this? Okay. So now let's talk about sine rule now. Here is how you do the sine rule. Okay. Can you see the sine rule? Sine rule, you say it doesn't matter what you are given. Don't worry about this one. This one is the cosine rule, which is harder. Sine rule, sine rule, don't waste my time. Here's what you do for sine rule. Students, listen. Just check, what letters do you have in here? What letters do you have in on your triangle? What letters do you have? The big ones at the corners. A, B, and C. So your sine rule is going to be for A, B, and C. Here is what it says. It just says sine big A over small a is equal to sine big B over small b, which is equal to sine big C over small c. Because you have A, B, and C. Do you get it now? Okay. Straightforward. So now let's rewrite one last time and do several questions, because we have several questions to do. Are you ready? All right. Let's rewrite one last time, summarize everything, okay? We said you are doing triangles. Is it true? And you are doing triangles with no right angle, right? You are doing non-right angled triangles. In other words, you are doing triangles with no right angle. Now, when you're doing triangles with no right angle, you have two methods. Remember, we are not talking about finding the area here. When we're finding the area, we have three formulas, and they are separate from this. We are talking about finding a missing side or a missing angle, right? So as long as it's a non-right angled triangle, you have a non-right angled triangle. This is the one we are talking about right now. Triangle with no right angle. There are two methods you have. Okay? Right, mister? There are two methods that you have for finding a missing side and a missing angle, right? Now, those two methods are one cosine rule, right? Maybe let's put the triangle before we say there are two methods. I'm going to resize, move it down here. So we are saying you are doing a triangle with no right angle, and the triangle, let's put what it looks like. It looks like this. It looks like this, or whatever shape it may have. This has no right angle. Are we together? And we are going to change the letters. We'll call it X, Y, Z. Can you see that? Now, and you have an angle theta here. Can you see that? So what we know is that before we do anything, when we are solving triangles with no right angle, you quickly label. They are small. There is easy labeling that everybody must be able to do. Yes, yes. Opposite big X. This is just so easy. Opposite big X is small x. Opposite big Y is small y. Opposite big Z is small z, right? Okay, so we have labeled, this is the triangle we have in this particular situation. Now we have two methods that we use when we are solving. We have the cosine rule and we have the sine rule, right? We have the cosine rule and we have the sine rule. So let's see how it goes. For the cosine rule, when do we use it? Use it when you are given. What are you given for you to use the cosine rule? Tell me now. You are given, no, one, either all three sides, okay? For the triangle, for the situation you will have in a question, you will be given all three sides, or you are given what? An included angle. An included angle. When you're given all three sides, or when you're given an included angle, then you have to use the cosine rule. You have a non-right angle triangle. You have two methods, sir. You have to choose one, right? So you have two methods and you have to choose one. Look at your triangle. Look at that triangle you are given that has no right angle. Look at the situation you are given. Okay? You have seen that there is no right angle. So now you know that you have two methods now. Okay? Sine rule or cosine rule. You are no longer thinking about Pythagoras. You are no longer thinking about SOHCAHTOA. They don't work right now because this triangle has no right angle. Are we together? So you have cosine rule and you have sine rule. Now for you test, Alex, everybody, test now. Do I have the conditions for cosine rule? Are we together? The conditions for cosine rule are what? Tell me, what is condition number one? Here. Look at this. Yes. Condition number one is that this triangle of yours with no right angle has all three sides given. Okay? If it has all three sides given, then you tick cosine rule. You have to use the cosine rule. Are we together? Or it may not have all three sides. It may have an included angle. Are we together? If you have an included angle, you tick again the cosine rule. Included angle, we said it is an angle that is sitting inside two sides that you know. Are we together? Are you listening to me? So tell me the conditions for the cosine rule. What are the conditions for cosine rule? Tell me the three conditions. There are three conditions. No. No. Tell me the three conditions. Or tell me the possible cases. Number one, the triangle must have no right angle, right? If the triangle has no right angle, then now we have either the cosine rule or the sine rule, okay? Now, for it to be the cosine rule, what must this triangle have now? It must have all three sides. So if they give you a non-right angle triangle, then they tell you this is 3, this is 5, this is 7. If they ask us to find any angle on a triangle like this one, can you see the triangle? This triangle is an example of a situation where you must use the cosine rule. Are we together? Why would we use the cosine rule for this triangle? Because it has all three sides and it has no right angle, right? So the only method is cosine rule. Are we together? What about this one? This situation. They give you 40 degrees and they tell you this is 4, they tell you this is 6, and they ask you to find x or whatever. What method do you use? Okay, we use the cosine rule again. Why? Because it has an included angle. You test the angle 40 degrees. Is it included? What does it mean to say it is included? It means the two sides that make it, isn't 40 degrees is made at this corner, right? What two sides are going to that corner? 6 and what? 6 and 4, right? 6 and 4 are the ones that make 40 degrees. Is it true? So this angle 40 degrees is made by two sides that we know. Is it true? So it is an included angle, right? So if they ask us for anything to do with the missing side or whatever, what do we use here? We use cosine rule again. Why do we use the cosine rule? Because you have an included angle. And it is a non-right angled triangle. Are we together? Right. When do you use the sine rule? We have seen the two situations where you use cosine rule. What about the sine rule now? Tell me, where do we use it? You use it for any other situation. Are we together? Sine rule is used for any other. So in other words, sine rule, you will have no right angle. That's condition number 1, right? But then you look at the triangle, you don't have 3 sides. Okay? And you look at the triangle, there is no included angle. All the angles you will be given are not included. So if they are not included, then you have to use what? Sine rule. Say what I've just said. When do you use the sine rule? Tell me. When do you use it? Yes, when there is no right angle, you check again. Yes, there should be no right angle. But what else should be missing? The triangle should have no 3 sides, right? And so you check that you are given 1 or 2 sides, right? Okay, then automatically you check the next thing, which is included angle. There must also be no included angle, right? In other words, the angles will be there. Angles will be there. You'll be given angles. Make no mistake. But the angles you are given are not what? The angles you are given are not included. Okay? They are not included. What is to be included? What is an included angle? What is an included angle, students? An included angle is an angle, listen, an included angle is an angle that sits between two sides that you know. Did you hear me? What did I say? An included angle is an angle that does what? Two sides that you do what? Two sides that you know, right? It is an angle that sits between two sides that you know. Look at 40 degrees. It is sitting between two sides. What are the two sides? Tell me. So you know them, right? So, yes, so it's an included angle. So you are so I'll ask you, is 40 degrees an included angle? Yes or no? Yes, it is, because it's sitting between two sides we know, right? So for us to use the sine rule, this situation must not be there. Yes, for sine rule, angles are there. For this one, this culprit called sine rule, angles are there, but they are not included. As long as an included angle is there, you have to use the cosine rule. You hear me? So we are going to get a situation and we test. Okay, thank you for giving me a triangle. This triangle has no right angle. So that means I have 2 methods. What are the 2 methods? For a triangle with no right angle, what are the 2 methods? The 2 methods are what? Tell me. cosine rule and sine rule. So now we have two methods. We have to choose one, right? How do we choose one? We look at our triangle, right? We check for what is given. We look, do we have all three sides? Okay? If we have all three sides in that triangle, then we use the cosine rule. Are we together? If you see, there are no three sides, I have only two sides, or I have only one side, then check the second thing. The second thing is check, do you have an included angle? Do you have it or you don't have it? If you have it, then again, you use the cosine rule. For you to use the sine rule, these two conditions must both be missing. Are we together? You look at that triangle, you see, there is no right angle in this triangle. Okay. You look at that triangle again, all my days. There is no, okay, there are not, you don't have all three sides, right? And you don't have an included angle, okay? Then automatically you will now use the sine rule. Are we together? Okay, now let's write the rules one more time, because now you know. I think now you know when to use each of the methods. I'm convinced. You now know when to use the cosine rule, and you now know when to use the sine rule. I am convinced. But now I want you to now know the second thing. Students, it's two parts. You now know when to use these methods. Now you need to know how to use them. Are we together? Now you need to know how. How do I use them? Here's how you use them. Here's how you use them. This is how you use them. Okay? Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. Can we continue? So now, how do we use them? Let's quickly write it. Then we start doing questions, okay? Because I'll be convinced that I've told you everything. Are you ready? Let's put any letters. Let's use A, B, and C again, right? Are you ready? I want us to see how we use these. So we'll be having letters A, B, and C, right? Even if we don't have them, we can just use the numbers. Can you see Mr. A? Right. Tell me, what is the first step that we should do now? We are using now the methods. We are seeing how to use them. We know when to use. Wait, tell me how to use the methods. How? I told you I'm going to be hard on you people now. It's time to be hard on you. My question is not when. My question now becomes how, students. How do we now use it? The first thing is, we said you quickly put the sides, right? Opposite big A is what? Opposite big A is small a. Opposite big B is small b. Opposite big C is small c. So you have now put, now we can write the cosine rule. Because when you look in books, they will give you the cosine rule, but you don't know how did they write it? What were they looking at? Are we together? This angle will now be, say, theta. So now if you are looking for this one, how does the cosine rule say you must write it? How do you write it? You have chosen to use the cosine rule. How do you write the cosine rule? Because you have chosen to use it. Okay, this side we put cosine rule. Then we're going to see how to write it. Then this other side we say the sine rule. Then we are going to see how to write it. Okay, we know when to write it. Now we need to see how to write it. When we see how to write it, we start doing questions now. So let's see how to write it. How do you write the cosine rule? It says B squared. Let's say you are looking for b. It will be b squared is equal to, what are the other two sides? A squared plus c squared. Okay? Minus, yes, 2. Well done. AC, then cos big B. Yes, you have to do it like this. So you have to practice writing it many, many times. You want B, so you only write it once because that's the time. Any other time, I don't want to see small b. That's the one you are looking for. So you only write it once here. Uh, so okay. Let's say, so let me make sure you hear me one more time. I said you're looking for this small b, you only write it once, right? Then you put the other two sides, the a and the c. Those are the ones you're going to use. So first you say a squared plus c squared, right? Then minus, don't leave the 2. Don't leave these 2. Students always leave it. Come on, students. Don't leave the 2. 2, then you bring the a and the c, but they are no longer squared. Are we together? And they are no longer adding, they're just multiplying. So it'll be AC, then you say cos big B. This is fine. You have seen it. Now let's do the sine rule. Sine rule is easy, right? Sine rule, you don't do all this. This is way too much for the sine rule. Sine rule doesn't do all this. You just look at the 3 letters at the corners. What are they? Sine rule. What are the 3 letters at the corners? We have big A, we have big B, and we have big C. So when we are now writing the sine rule, big A over small a is equal to sine big B over small b, because we also have b, which is equal to sine big C over small c. This is the first. This you write with a pencil, by the way. This one which I've taught you. Then I'm going to show you how you will then remove one side and use one more. Are we together? Because you are going to then remove one side. There's no way you are going to get an answer with 2 equal signs like this. Are we together? One of them will be cancelled as we now do the calculation. So anyway, that's fine. Um, this is it. We are done. Now let's start with the questions. Are we happy? Have we seen the situations when you use the cosine rule? You use it when you have either all 3 sides on your non-right angle triangle. You'll be having all 3 sides, or you'll be having an included angle, right? Any other situation, you have to use the sine rule. Are we together? All right. So, right. So, pardon? No, it's been 38 minutes now since we have been live. So let's just go through questions, because it doesn't help to just do methods without questions, okay? Because if we don't do questions, then how do we know if we have understood? Are we together? So now we have to do questions. Now let me open the questions to see if we have understood or not. To see how to solve so we master one last time. So let's go through question after question. All right, I'll start with simple ones, then we'll go to the hard ones. Let's do question after question. I want to see the method being followed. That's the most important thing. Anything else? I want to see the steps being followed. Anything else, I don't mind. But what I want is the steps. So I'm going to be hard on you. You're not going to let me down. You have to do the steps. Okay? So we go like this. We go, I don't want to see anything else. I want to see the steps. So let's solve and let's see how. Right. So this has to be easy. This has to be easy. So if you are trying to say, what have I done today? What have I learned today? What you are learning is how to solve triangles that have no right angle. Then we'll go back to questions with triangles that have a right angle. Then we'll go back to questions on area of triangles, because there's 3. Right. Now, can you see this first question? Here's our first question. Let's quickly go. Let's quickly. What did you say? Let's do the steps. I want you to see the steps. Wait. the steps are going to be like this. Look at this triangle. Does it have a right angle? Yes or no? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because we are going to do triangles that have a right angle. And we have two methods for those ones, Sohcahtoa and Pythagoras. Okay? So I have to, because we are not ending here. We also have triangles that have right angles. They use these methods. Okay? So steps are important because methods are determined by the type of triangle you are given. If it has a right angle, then you use these ones. But we don't have one. So our methods you quickly write is cosine rule and sine rule. Okay? Because there is no right angle. Is it true? Do we have a right angle? No, we don't. So what methods do we have? How many methods did we say we have for triangles with no right angle? We have two methods, which is the cosine rule and the sine rule, right? Now, let's test cosine rule. Remember cosine rule? It will be all three sides, wait, all three sides or included angle. Is it true? All three sides or included angle. So test. Any other case, we go to the sine rule, okay? So test. This is how you do. Can you see the steps I'm doing? We have seen that there is no right angle. I want you to do these steps. If I ask you, you should do these steps. You should tell me, okay, the first thing we see is that the triangle we are given, we are doing triangles, okay? Our focus is triangles right now. This is the shape. We want to master it, right? So I want you to say, the first thing I can see is that there is no right angle. So because there is no right angle, everything has reasons. You say, because there is no right angle, the methods I have are the cosine rule and the sine rule, right? Because there is no right angle. Then you should now say, cosine rule is for all three sides or included angle. Then sine rule is for any other situation. So now let's check. Okay, we've written properly. Now let's check this triangle. Do we have all three sides, man? Do we have it? Side AB we have, right? Do we have side AB? We have it. What is the size of side AB? Tell me. What is the size? 4.8. Let's go. Do we have side AC? What is the size of AC? 6.4. Do we have BC? So how can we say you have all three sides? We don't, right? We don't have all three sides. Okay, good. So all three sides, this one is out. We now check included angle. Yes. Do we have any angle inside? Oh, yes, we have 123. Oh, that's the angle. Yes. So check it. Is that angle of yours, that 123, is it included? Yes or no? Let's check. All right. Yes. To be included means it will be in between two sides that we know, right? So do we know this side on the left of your angle? That makes your angle. Yes. What is the length of this side? 4.8, right? Do we know the other one that comes to this angle? Yes. Right? What is the length of this one? 6.4. Is it true? So we know the two sides that come to 123. That means it is an included angle, and that means we are using the cosine rule for this question. So sine rule, you are out, right? Now we are using the cosine rule. Well done. So you have chosen, you are going to use cosine rule. Now, what must you do? You have chosen you're going to use the cosine rule, so we're going to use it. What must you do now? What did we then do? How do you use it? Isn't you've seen, you have chosen the method. How do you use it? What is the first step? Label your triangle. Label your triangle. Label your triangle. Okay, don't change and do your own methods. I don't want them. I said you label the triangle, right? So let's label it. Opposite big A is what? Small a. Opposite big B is what? Small b. Opposite big C is what? Small c. We have labeled it. Now we can go to what the question wants. Look, we didn't even read what the question wanted. We don't care what it wants. The first thing we do is we look at the triangle. Don't look at the question, students. I'm teaching you the best way. Before you look at the question, analyze your triangle and choose what method you will use. Are we together? Mr. A, are we together? Should you read this question before you look at the triangle? Should you read it? Yes or no? Should you read this question? No, you mustn't. No, you mustn't read it. What must you do? You look at the triangle, right? And you follow the rules. Is it a right angle? Does it have this? Does it have? So here we've seen we are using the cosine rule. Now we can read the question. They want BC, right? Which is what? Which one is it? Is it B or C or A? This, no, BC. Yes, they want BC. What small letter is it? BC. Isn't we have labeled our triangle? So this side BC is small letter A. So in other words, they want us to find small letter A. Let's use the cosine rule. How do you find small letter A? Using the cosine rule. You say A squared is equal to, what are the other two letters? What are the other two letters? B squared plus squared. We practiced it, right? Minus 2. Yes, we said we don't leave the 2. Then you say what? Minus 2 BC. Yes, because we have a B and a C. So minus 2 BC then cos what? Capital A, because you're looking for A, right? So now that's good. You have written the cosine rule, the true one. This is the cosine rule. Are we together? Right. Now let's replace. Let's replace to find what we want. Okay? We are still getting A squared. What is it now? What is our B? What is small b? Tell me now. Is, isn't we said B squared? So let's find it. What is this small b in the question here? What is it? It is 6.4. So we say 6.4 squared plus, what is small c? 4.8. Yes, so this is why you need to practice. You are now practicing what you know. Minus. Yes, when you are now saying minus, you must open a bracket because you're now dealing with number. Yes, you can't put letters in the calculator. So you now need to replace the letters. Minus 2 of what is the b? What is small b? 6.4. So minus 2 by 6.4 by, what is small c? 4.8 by cos, what is big A? This angle, 123 degrees. So punch it exactly like this and get me A squared. Exactly like this. This is a big bracket. So it's a bracket like this. We are putting it as a square bracket just so that you can see. But in the calculator, it's also the normal one, this one. But I'll put it as a square bracket. You put the normal one in the calculator. So it's like this. Now we have to punch it exactly like this and get an answer. Would say yes. We say 6.4 squared. Put it. We have to. 6.4 squared plus 4.8 squared. Okay? Squared is that x squared button. 4.8, then you press this button, squared. Then you say minus, then you open a bracket. Then you say 2, then open a bracket again. Then you say 6.4, you close the bracket. You open another bracket, you say 4.8, you close that bracket. Then you press cos 123 and you make sure your calculator is in degree mode. Then you close and you close again. You should get 97.462622, blah, 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 right? And then to get A, you will now say square root of that, of 97.462622. Okay? Square root of that. Square root of 9.7. What do you of 97? What do you get? You must get 9.87 as your solution. You must get 9.87. And this small a is the BC. So you can now say that means BC, the side which they wanted, is equal to 9.87 centimeters. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? And since this one is to one decimal place, one decimal, we can also put to one decimal place, which makes it 9.9. Okay. 9.9. We look, this is 5 and above, so we add 1 here. Becomes 9.9 centimeters. You are done. Look at this. What a mathematician. Let's go for the next one. I'm not going to be easy on you. Let's go for the next one. Don't read this. What are you doing? We said no, right? Right? No to reading this. What do you look at, students? Tell me. What should you look at to do this triangle question? How do you do a triangle question? What must you look at? Tell me. Hello? You should look at what? Mr. A. You look at the triangle. Are we together? Look at this triangle. What are we given? Does it have a right angle? Yes or no? Students, does it have a right angle? No, it doesn't have a right angle. So we write, it doesn't matter. We don't care what they give us. The moment we see that it doesn't matter if it has two angles given, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. You look at the triangle. Does it have a right angle? Yes or no? No, it doesn't. So how many methods do we have for this type of a triangle? Yes, we go step by step. We have 2 methods. Write them. Cosine rule and what? Cosine rule and sine rule. When do we use cosine rule? Tell me. When you have all three sides. And no, don't say and one angle. Not when you have all 3 sides and when you have an included angle. Simple. When you have an included angle. Yes, anything else we use the sine rule. So check your triangle, sir. Check your triangle, ma'am. Check your triangle, everybody. Does it have all 3 sides? So this one is out. Does it have an included angle? We look at the angles. Let's look at the angles. This angle 28, is it included? Yes or no? For it to be included, we must know the 2 sides that make it, right? This one we know it's 10.2, but this one we don't know it. So 28 is not included. Let's look at 134. Is it included? It's totally not included because we don't even know one side. Okay? And yet we must know both sides that make it, right? So it is not included. So 134 is not included, right? Is 134 included? Yes or no? No. Why is it not included? Because we don't have both sides that make it. So it's not included. So there is no included angle. That means cosine rule is out. We now have to use the sine rule. And sine rule is so simple, right? First, we just label our triangle. Let's label it. Opposite big A. What is it? What side is opposite big A? It's small a. What side is opposite big B? Small b. What side is opposite big C? Small c. So we have small a, small b, small c. We are done. Now, what do you look at when you are writing the sine rule? First, you do it with a pencil, okay? First, you must do it with a pencil. You look at the letters involved. What letters do we have on this triangle? Letters. Tell me the letters. We have A, B, and C. So what does our sign say? It is for A, B, and C. So it's sine big A over small a, right? Is equal to sine B over small c, which is equal to sine big C over small c. Is it true? All right. Now, which of the three letters is useless? Now we want to use the sign, right? So one of these three has to be useless. Are we together? You can't use all three because you'll be having two equal signs. Yes, B is useless because he has nothing. Well done. You can just look at B and see it's useless. It has nothing. The angle at B has nothing. The side at B has nothing. So B is useless, right? So that means B is going out. Take it out. So for Cambridge, what you will write is sine big A over small a is equal to sine big C over small c. This is the official one, okay? Because B was useless. Are we together? So this is the one that they'll give you marks for writing. Now, what do they want now? Look at the question now. What does the question want? Calculate length what? Yes, after doing all this, that's when you go to the question. Good. So yes, 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 yes. AB first is small c. Is it true that AB is small c? So basically, we are looking for small c. Is that true? We are looking for small c because that's the side AB. A to B, it's small c. All right. So if you are looking for small c, because it's in the denominator, listen to the first thing you do. You flip both sides, okay? Because what you are looking for is in the denominator. You only do this when you are looking for something in the denominator. Are we together? So let's flip both sides. What do you do when you flip this one? It was sine A over A. When you flip it, what does it become? Do you know how to flip? Reciprocate. Small a over, huh? Small a over sine A, okay? Is equal to, what about this one? Can you flip it? The top goes to the bottom to the top. What does it become? Small Small c, yes, small c was the denominator. It goes to the top. Over sine big C was at the top. It's now at the bottom. So it's sine big C. Right? Now we are looking for small c. So we just take sine big C to the other side. Are we together? So you have A over sine A times, because it was dividing, when it goes to the other side, it will multiply, right? Times sine C, this is equal to small c. Can you see this? Can you see what we have done? Are you sure? Now, what is small a? Now tell me, we are ready to find. What is small a now? So 10.2 divided by, what is sine big A? What is at big A? So it is sine of 134 degrees multiplied by, okay, sine big C. What is sine big C? Can you tell me? Is sine of 28 degrees. Don't leave the sign, okay? And this gives you the small c which you're looking for. Can you punch this? This is the easiest thing to punch. Can you punch this? 10.2 divided by sine 134 degrees times sine 28 degrees. Just punch it one time. Tell me what you get. Divided by sine 134 degrees. Then you say times sine 28 degrees. What do you get? Did you punch nicely? Come on. Anyone can punch that. Let's punch. 10.2 students divided by, oh, divided by sine 134 times sine 28. You get 6.6569. So it becomes just 6.7 degrees, because angles are usually put to one decimal place, okay? Is it an angle? No, it's a side. It's a side. So it's 6.66 centimeters. Here, of course, this was to one decimal place again, so you can just say 6.7 centimeters, because it was 6.56, okay? It was 6.6569 5, blah, blah, blah. This is our C, which means 6.7 is our C. Can you see that? So you can now say 6.7 centimeters. What is the C? It is AD. Okay, it is AB. Are we together? So it is the AB. That's what AB is. So you write here 6.7 centimeters. Do you have a question? Are you sure? So there's a big thing that we are learning here before I let you guys go. There's a big thing that we are learning here. What is the big thing? Tell me the big thing that you have learned here that is very different from what we've been thinking. Tell me what's the big thing? It is how you approach these questions. Are we together? Your success is all on how you are going to approach the questions. Are we together? You must not read this first. You must look at the triangle first, okay? I have taught you how to look at the triangle. I taught you how you look at the triangle and choose a method, right? So that's what you will do. You look at the triangle, you choose a method, then you will go to the question. Are we together? All right. So I have to give you questions. I'm going to give you questions for you to do and prove to me that you have heard and prove to me that you now know what to do. Are we together? So I'm going to give you those questions. You will do them. Um, give me a second so that I tell you something.